Hey! Hey! Hey!
Shocking moments caught on camera. This video obtained by First Alert 4 showing intense moments in downtown early this morning as gunfire erupts near the Marquee Restaurant and Lounge on Locust Street. As you heard, multiple rounds fired. This just one of several shootings and disturbances St. Louis police are looking into tonight as the end of 314 day in the city turned to chaos and crime last evening into the early morning hours today. Our Jordan Burrell breaks down what happened and what police are doing.
What started as a day of celebrating St. Louis pride on 314 Day turned into hours of violence across the city once the day turned to night. St. Louis City Police say between the evening and early morning hours following 314 Day, they responded to shootings, street takeovers, and large, out-of-control crowds.
Hey!
This dashcam video captured near Locust Street. It shows just one of those moments from the night. A man can be seen dodging a shot. He then ducks down to take cover and then begins shooting back. The driver who shared the video says his car was hit by a stray bullet. Police say two men were involved, a 24-year-old and a 27-year-old. Both had non-life-threatening injuries. Police have not found the second suspect.
The 27-year-old who was engaged in that shootout, he is going to be charged. He is a convicted felon. There was no reason for him to have a firearm.
Earlier in the night, officers responded to several other shootings, including a 14-year-old girl shot during a large juvenile gathering near Broadway and Halls Ferry. Videos being shared on social media show the large crowd at the intersection. Police say hundreds of young people were in the street, refusing to leave when gunshots rang out from within the crowd. St. Louis City Police say street takeovers were popping up around the city, including near Morgan Ford and Gravois. First Alert 4 obtaining this video where you can see the street blocked off and people saying a body was in the street.
Crazy!
Officers say a woman hanging out of a vehicle was ejected after a car crashed. She suffered multiple non-life-threatening injuries, but police say there were multiple street takeovers citywide, some with fireworks and flamethrowers. Officers used spike strips to catch around 50 cars throughout the night.
There was one consistent problem that we saw throughout the night, even with multiple of these shootings. It was juveniles without their parents. They were nowhere in sight. Our officers should not be your babysitter. Our city is not a playground, and this type of violence is absolutely unacceptable.
Now, police also responded to 3 other shootings, one located at St. Charles and Tucker that injured an adult woman. There was another at 7th and Chestnut following a street takeover and that injured a 17-year-old boy, and another street takeover that ended in gunfire at 9th and Branch that injured a 19-year-old. Anyone with information on any of these incidents are asked to contact police. We'll have that information within the story on the First Alert 4 News app. Russell.
Jordan, thanks very much.